I went to bed early. What happened? Did something happen? Why did we change the theme music?
I drank a bottle of red wine and ate red velvet cake. That's what I did last night.
Listen, people, I have 2 words for you, okay? What the comedy gods taketh away, Michelle Bachmann, they have given us and Joni Ernst. And that's all we care about. At the end of the day, we are a comedy show. And did you see that crazy bitch last night? Oh, my God. If you can get Randy Rhodes tweeting again.
Yeah, exactly.
Randy Rhodes tweeted me.
I think we need to...
Tell Steph she's got to play that video of the audio of Joni Ernst. She's crazy.
I think we need to get her a call from Costa Rica.
I think we all need to get in a pedal boat and go to Costa Rica and join.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, because, wow, nicely done, America. I'm for the minimum wage and background checks and everything that the other guy I just voted for is not for. Isn't it awesome? Did you see the jobs report that just came out?
Yeah.
Spectacular last month.
Well, they were talking about also all the blue states like Minnesota, California, how great things are here.
Right.
And these states like Kansas where they keep voting Republican. It's just getting worse.
And Kansas' economy is in the crapper.
Right. Right.
But
yes,
they got
but they voted for all the issues.
Yeah.
But then they voted for the other person that's not for all those things. Thanks for paying attention, America. Nicely done.
Really getting it. Really getting it done.
Thank you, God. Thank you. Because, I was a little panicky about the loss of the Michelle Bachmann. I'm just saying, the comedy gods have given us Joni Ernst. Is that the creepiest laugh you've ever seen? Right? Not only does she look like Twisty the Clown, if you and your kids were in a haunted house and you saw that, right?
You want to hear some of her?
Yes.
Yes, I would like to.
I think we need to.
Well, Iowa, we did it! We did it! It's a long way from Red Oak to Washington. From the biscuit line at Hardee's
So folksy.
to the United States Senate. But
Yeah.
thanks to all of you, we are heading to Washington. And we are going to make them squeal.
Yes, it only makes me happy when I cut someone's balls off.
You know how Sarah Palin's voice made your balls go up into your throat?
Right.
Hers make your fall.
Right, hers
fall
make
off.
you cut your own off.
Hers make you fall off. Yeah.
Sarah Palin's voice makes you hide your balls. Hers, you just like, you know what? I got it. Snip.
Just make them
I
descend.
got it. Don't worry.
Literally descend to the floor.
I'm telling you, this is new. We had more fun when we were on defense, right?
Yes.
During the Bush years.
And now they're going to have to prove that they can lead.
This is why comedy is back. Best photo bomb. This won the
Yeah.
internets yesterday. Mitch McConnell's voting, and the guy's doing crazy eyes behind him going,
You
thumbs
retweeted
down.
that, by the way.
Thumbs down. Yes.
Yes.
Best voting photo bomb ever. Nicely done, sir. So, he did the crazy eyes. No. Yertle looked very surprised.
Yeah.
He and his wife looked like a two-headed turtle a little bit. She was very close to him. What was that? Was she growing out of his back? All right. Is it weird that I'm happy? I'm just happy because Joni Ernst is kind of like a Sarah Palin mashed with a Michelle Bachmann.
Sure.
It's like they got together and had a love child.
Oh, is there any chance she has a big gay husband?
Oh, God. I hope so.
But the bigger question is, does her husband have balls?
Right. Clearly not. Clearly not.
She's been practicing at home.
All right. Where do we have Dean Obadala coming up. We have Michael Tomasky, who called this exactly. Carlos Alzraki. We all called it along with Bill Maher.
It wasn't unexpected.
No, we knew this was going
We
to
all called it along with Bill Maher. Look, where do you start? There's obviously a number of things. The map was always horrible. We always said that. You don't want to discourage voting, so you don't want to go, oh, don't worry, don't bother.
The president said so yesterday.
Yeah.
In this election cycle, this is probably the worst possible group of states for Democrats since Dwight Eisenhower. There are a lot of states that are being contested where they just tend to tilt Republican.
Well, guess when that all turns around in 2016. So that's the other thing. Is like you said this morning, Chris, you're like, we've been through this before.
Yeah, right.
Why are people panicking? Like, this is historically.
Yeah, it wasn't unexpected.
And also, Bill Maher called it because Democrats are pussies, and we got to stop being.
We also have to vote.
They absolutely should not have been running away from.
Right.
President Obama, just like we were saying, Al Gore would be president if he had not run away from Bill Clinton's record.
I think that all the Democrats running away from President Obama contributed to the Democrats' messaging problem. They didn't highlight all of the great accomplishments of the Democrats over the last 6 years.
Accentuate the positive.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, I'm laughing. I mean, we posted this thing, the 14 facts about the Obama administration.
Yeah.
You don't know. Bill Maher went through all of them as well, all the economic indicators.
Even David Letterman went through them.
I'm laughing. I'm like going, look at this, like way more jobs added last month than economists suspected. I'm going, just in time for Republicans to blow it all up. Nicely done.
You keep saying those
done.
things, and that motivates the base.
Right, and I gotta say it, we didn't turn out.
No, we did not motivate
Once
the
again,
base.
this is what happened in 2010. Chris, you were saying that we just did not, our base.
Right.
I mean, look, a lot
Young
of
people didn't turn out to vote, and minorities didn't turn out to vote.
And a lot of the voter suppression worked, as you said this morning, Travis. And it's not one. I know now I'm going to get right-wing trolls going, "Oh, sore loser, oh, conspiracy theory, oh, it was all stolen." I didn't say that. I said in many areas.
Jim said that.
You look at the
Voter suppression worked in some areas. I mean, what I'm saying is it all adds up. All this dark money didn't help, certainly. So that's what I'm saying. Is like you can take a number of factors, but Chris, as you said, this was not unexpected. Maybe a
little more harsh than expected, but it wasn't completely unexpected at all.
We needed a spanking. America deserved a spanking for the way we've been behaving for the last few years.
Right.
Democrats
needed a spanking too.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. I hope I hope we learn our lesson for 2016, not just turnout, but running. That's why, I mean, I hope that this is. I hope, let's just say, if it's Hillary Clinton, we don't take the wrong message and run away from President Obama's record, because it clearly didn't work in this cycle.
Yeah, Hillary hasn't before. She hasn't run away from President Obama before, so.
But Rand Paul already gloating and like tweeting pictures of Hillary with losing candidates. Oh, really? And no Republicans have ever campaigned with losing candidates. Like, my God. Oh, do we have him? He's an irritant.
I think here in Kentucky it was a referendum not only on the president, but on Hillary Clinton.
Right.
Ran as a Clinton Democrat. She tried to disassociate herself from the president. So she tried to attach herself to Hillary Clinton, but it turns out Hillary Clinton doesn't have many coattails in Kentucky.
Yes, it was clearly Hillary that was on the ballot. That's exactly what happened there.
They're grasping at straws right now because they know they've got no one to run still. They've got no one that can win America.
Yeah.
I mean, who are they going to run?
Well, that's what I think, everybody's been saying. They predicted this to some degree happening in 2014, and then in a lot of ways they've screwed themselves in 2016, because first of all these people are crazy. Have you noticed? The Senate, I mean, the headlines last night were the Senate tilts hard right. And Chris, as you said, this great piece this morning, chill out, liberals. The Republicans took the Senate, and that's terrible for them.
Yeah.
Good. Now we get to sit back and go, great. Govern now.
What?
Yeah.
Let's
do it. What are you going to do? What do you got? What do you got? Right. Taking away everybody's health insurance, impeaching the president. What else you got?
Go for it.
Yeah. Nicely done. And this, like I said, was the most, and that's saying a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So if you don't think Citizens United and McCutcheon and all that had this was the most expensive midterm campaign in American history, period. It was, we had a new sponsor.
Whether you're an Iowa farmer or a Texas school teacher, we're Citizens United Airlines. Walks. Citizens United Airlines, rededicated to giving you the shaft we think you deserve. Come fly the corporate-friendly skies.
Yay! Rocky Mountain Mike and
no ID required to get on Citizens United Airlines.
Exactly.
That was Rocky Mountain Mike and Richard Hensel.
Richard Hensel, the famous voiceover guy. Thank you.
That's right.
Thank you. See, everything old is new again. We don't even hardly have to work now for the next couple of years. We just have all these old bits that we can say, we told you so.
Exactly.
I'm sorry. Did I shout that? Yes. Oh, let's go to Mitch. He did not, as it turns out, have to go back in the turtle tunnel.
No. And now he's going to be majority leader.
Oh my
Can't wait to see him set that Senate on
Or as
fire.
Joni Ernst would say. You know what I can't wait for? Oh, Carlos is coming in later. Carlos does the funniest bit in his stand-up about the Pirates of the Caribbean ride, and he he does the thing with the one eye. He's like, the pirate with one eye coming out.
Yep, Joni Ernst.
Yeah, that's what you
Sure.
last night.
And you know how you said she looks like Twisty the Clown?
Yes.
Twisty the Clown was killed last week.
Oh, no. But Joni Ernst is a
Spoiler alert, Chris. I haven't watched
Oh,
it.
please, it's over a week.
Okay, here he is.
Too many in Washington have forgotten that their job is to serve.
Too many? Like who?
So tomorrow, the papers will say, I won this race.
Look at me. Slow and steady, as it turns out.
But the truth is, tonight we begin another one. One that's far more important than mine.
Right.
And that's the race to turn this country around.
Right.
It's a race to turn this mother out.
Turn it around.
Let's take all those economic indicators that the president has achieved. Let's turn that sucker around. Let's go back to whatever century. Pick one.
Yeah, let's make some right turns, Mitch.
I cannot believe, seriously, so the American people, at least for the moment, the answer to gridlock is to get more Republicans in. So I'm the guy that said my number one priority is to make the president a one-term president. It's like, okay, that guy.
Yeah.
We need more of that guy.
What's going to be fun is watching the Republicans gridlock themselves, because you know there's more Tea Parties and more crazies, and it's going to be harder for Boner to control the House.
Because, we are basically an island of misfit, immature toys. Sure. I'm going to just have everybody tweeting Mitch McConnell all the time. Why are you hitting yourself? Why are you hitting yourself? Why?
Where are the jobs? Where are the jobs? You got it.
Why are you hitting?
What's going on, Mitch? Where's the jobs?
Why are you hitting yourself? Why are you hitting yourself?
I'm going to drunk dial John Boner every night. Where are the jobs? Where are the jobs of the American people? I'm here to jabber it out of a job.
It's their turn. Let's see what they can do. Put up or shut up. Come on.
Here we go. Let's go. It's a new day. It's a whole new day.
Luna just tweeted, Yo Dems, get a clue and run on your effing record. Voters favor policies. It's the messaging, stupid.
Yeah.
That's perfect. So
I can't wait
140
I
characters.
can't wait to have Michael McDonald back on. We have this cycle. It's like a crop of Stewarts. Just like we gave you health care. Sorry. Right?
Oh.
Sorry, we rescued from the, how many jobs created? How many, the unemployment in half from 10 to 5, essentially? Sorry.
Well,
you know how much Michael McDonald loves to do Stewart for morning radio DJs, as he pointed out.
We made a bit out of it.
Yeah.
We still made him do it. Oh, my God. And the other great thing, we have to have Carlos do Tom Brokaw last night, because that was the other spectacular piece of comedy. His phone rang. Did you see it? He's in the middle of coverage. His phone rang, and he did a comedy bit.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, yes, milk and milk, darling. Milk and I'll feed the dog. Don't worry.
Dear.
He did a little joke like he was talking to his wife or something.
In booking news,
yes.
Next Wednesday, we've got Bill Nye the Science Guy, so maybe you can explain math to some people about what Obama's done, because obviously we didn't get it.
Right. How cute is that? In booking news. Okay. Thank you. Yes.
I want hip-hop news.
And other hip-hop news. All right.
I'm still working on Lisa Kudrow for the hip-hop news.
Okay.
Woohoo. All right. So anyway, I'm sure a lot of people have to purge on the phone lines.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm scared. I don't want to turn them on, Mama.
Oh, there's a new guy on Twitter that's I have a new Twitter tweet.
Oh, that moon guy?
I'm not sure if I can say what he calls me.
Oh, yeah.
It's liquor, but it's not a dirty word, but it's just a new term that I've heard.
Have you seen what he calls me? I'll show you in the...
Oh, yes. Okay.
Mm-hmm, okay. Yeah, that guy.
Yeah.
He's
I've never
precious.
heard it's ditch.
I haven't got...
Really?
Oh.
Yeah.
New one.
I haven't heard that.
I haven't gotten a nickname yet.
Yeah.
You're not tweeting enough.
You'll so
You're
love
not
that.
trying hard enough. All right, 20 minutes after the hour, right back on the Stephanie Miller Show. It is the Stephanie Miller Show. You're right. Clay Aiken came in second. Again.
Americans decide you're not the American Idol.
Sorry, Clay. Nice guy.
Nice guy.
But Bill Maher was right about that, too. We played that yesterday. You're gay in North Carolina.
I wonder who Clay voted for.
Guess who could have activated your base? Oh, I know. President Obama. Okay. Oh, by the way, of all the things that are going to irritate me this morning, Peggy Noonan wishes Obama would show graciousness after midterm losses. Really? Is that what your Chardonnay Canaries told you? She always has that same condescending look. He really, yeah.
He should apologize to the Democrats for what
President,
he's
we're
done.
going to need you to go down to storage room B, to give your concession speech, to show humility. You know what? I don't think you should be in the big house anymore. You can move along. Pardon?
We're going to need to go ahead and move you downstairs into storage B.
No. Yes. It would be too uppity to do it from the Oval Office. Yes, he'll love this, because we all recall the humility and graciousness of President Bush. She's recalling a gentler time when George Bush was so. Remember, there was no mandate.
Yeah, look at me. I got
political capital. I intend to spend it.
Yeah.
Shock and awe. We don't. Yeah, that's all we remember is humility. Humility and graciousness. That's what was the hallmarks of the Bush administration.
Is this where we want Obama to just go like, okay, I'm going to do what I want to do now?
Yeah, I was going to say one of our one of my emailers. That's what I was looking for. Had a better idea.
Let's turn them into every nightmare they had about him.
Yeah. Hang on. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Executive orders left and right.
Yeah. Peggy Noonan said, in Bush's news conferences, you hear the sound of an old graciousness that has eluded President Obama.
Oh, my God.
Really? Wait a minute. When he was landing on the aircraft carrier with a sock in his crotch? Really?
Obama has been a little too gracious.
Yeah, that's the problem right there.
Obama's been a little too gracious, I think.
For God's sakes. Yeah, I'll find it.
Oh,
you had a fun story because it involves
Stephanie Miller.
me.
Yes. No, I went to vote yesterday, obviously.
Yes.
To be my little sticker.
Come on.
No, but the lady at the polling place, I had my Obama shirt on. She said, you can't wear that here.
Oh.
And I was like, well,
I covered
he's
mine
not
up.
running. He's not running for office.
Right.
And she's like, well, I know who you work for.
You're like,
oh dear.
You're like, oh no, black helicopters, drones.
Like, oh no. She's like, I love her.
She did. Oh, good.
Yes, no, she's a fan.
See, this is the world we're in now, where you have to whisper that you are a Stephanie Miller fan.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's like that cartoon someone sent me. Remember way back in the day? Who did that? The famous cartoon. I'm in it. I'm mentioned, and Keith Olbermann is mentioned in it. That you had to hide that you watched Olbermann or listened to me.
Yeah.
If somebody knocked at the door.
And she turned to the other ladies and she's like, do you know the Stephanie Miller show? She's a progressive. She's really good. I'm like,
we're back to we have to whisper liberal now?
You're getting me in trouble now.
Right? Remember, like I said, my mom whispered the,
that Republican stronghold of West Hollywood.
No, she wasn't, and she wasn't racist. She was just polite. She just thought that you should not, overly point out that someone is.
Sure. There's a whole sequence of that in St. Elmo's Fire where Mayor Whittingham takes Rob Lowe to her parents' house, and they're sitting around the table, and they whisper the bad words, like, did you hear that she has cancer?
That's why terms of endearment is so funny.
Yeah.
Kathy tells us you have cancer.
Yes. And then one of them asks Rob Lowe, where did you meet Mayor Whittingham? And he leans over and says, prison. Great. Love that line.
All right. Another voting story that involves
Stephanie Miller.
Teresa in Alabama. I just wanted to let you know I put down Stephanie Miller in all of the write-in blanks where there was no Democrat running. Terry in Dothan, Alabama. Thank you.
I think that's
It could happen. I could win in Alabama. Who knows what's happening? Right back on the Stephanie Miller Show.
The charm of your drug-addled candor knows no bounds.
How many eggs is that? You had a massive mountain of scrambled eggs on that plate.
Enough for me and Mackley and Fred.
Okay. It's the morning after. Give me a break. Oh, I found this, by the way. Because as Travis was saying, he was at his polling place, and now we're back to a political era where you have to whisper.
Right. Yeah.
Liberal. She said, I know who you work for.
Yeah.
I love her. But you can't say I love her. You can't say
Stephanie Miller.
Oh, no. Where do you get that sort of behavior? No, that's up.
Okay. So anyway, but this was...
yeah, you really disciplined him well there.
Right. Okay. Stop it. Okay. Anyway, but I was saying this was during the Bush years. Because I was saying, I like it. We have Joni Ernst. We have comedy.
Yep.
You know what? I think I'm going to get Randy Rhoads back out of retirement. If I can get her tweeting. She tweeted last night, oh, my God, Joni Ernst is insane. Call Steph and tell her to play her crazy acceptance speech. Just her laugh is enough to make you grab your passport. Oh, wait, you don't have a passport. Get one. What time is it? 35 after. Okay. Come on. Come back, Randy. Come back. It's time. Because now we're on defense again where we belong.
We have a happy hour podcast available for her.
Oh, we certainly do. In fact... Anytime. Glug, glug, glug.
Yep.
Oh, okay, yeah, so this was the, what is it, Wiley?
Yeah.
Cartoonist. He's fabulous.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, anyway, but it's a little kid and a father sitting on a couch. Can I have some, I don't know, comic strip music? Whatever when we normally read Marmaduke? Okay, Daddy, is it true firemen can spy on us now? Remember that whole thing?
Yeah.
Bush years, yeah. Yes, Kate, but I don't think it's anything to worry about. Bing bong, let's see the doorbell. Marmaduke's not on the couch. It's just okay.
It's not Howard Hughes either.
Hello, Mr. Pyle. You've won a free safety inspection from the fire department. Oh, I see you read the New York Times. Yeah, so it might be a DGM, Daddy. A what? DGM, discouraged with the government material. Don't tell them you Tebow Keith Olbermann or listen to Stephanie Miller on the radio. Why? What's wrong with that? And then the fireman is, we've got a code 3 here, call for backup. Right? Combination of me and Olbermann was code 3 back then.
That was back when Olbermann liked you?
Shush.
Tolerated you? Whatever that was?
All my relationships end badly. It's all right. Yeah. Oh, and then we were talking yesterday about, or just the last break, Peggy Noonan would like President Obama to display the humility that we all remember from George Bush.
Oh, my God.
You remember that humility and graciousness.
Sure. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I got some political capital. I intend to spend it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's gracious.
Mandate. Shock and awe. Mission accomplished. Smoke 'em out.
Lori in Virginia has a different idea. Steph, we expected the Republicans to run their campaigns on the anti-Obama message, but when the Democrats ran away from Obama's long list of accomplishments, it only served to reinforce the Republican Party's message, and that's the election. A huge miscalculation played right into the Republicans' hands. That's what I said, and that's what Bill Maher said. Oh, that wasn't what I was looking for. Someone else had some other advice for President Obama. Oh, here it is. I'm sorry. This is from, let's see, Stephen in Virginia. That's what I was looking for. Steph, now that Congress has sunken into the 9th level of hell, I think this is how President Obama should handle it. For every psychotic piece of legislation they put on his desk, he should immediately put it through a shredder and then send every member of Congress an 8x10 photo of his middle finger with the word vetoed down the middle of it. I like that. I like that. Just...
Sure.
I'm not really for the graciousness.
No,
myself.
yeah, the president, the president's been too gracious.
Yes.
He needs to do things like that.
Right. Just think, and there's some comedy value in it.
Yes.
Just, I picture Mitch McConnell. Well, what is it? A black man's middle finger. Okay, Amy in Atlanta, you're on the Stephanie Miller Show. Hello, Amy.
Hey. I'm so angry. I have already called DNC and asked them to please get rid of Debbie Wasserman Schultz. I've called Michelle Nunn.
Yeah, I like Debbie personally, but I feel like, can we get Howard Dean back and get back to a 50-state strategy?
We need someone.
That's what I said.
Yeah. Someone who fights maybe a little dirty.
Yeah.
That's what we need, and I've called Michelle Nunn's office, and I said, how'd that work out, aligning yourself with George H.W. Bush and not even saying anything about Obama?
Yeah.
If we don't start being Democrats, we're screwed.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. We can't be Republican light.
We ran as, right. Yeah, Democrats light, whatever you want to call it, that's what they ran on this cycle, and I said it over and over again, you know, and I don't like being right about things like that. Normally, I mean, it's a given that I'm right about everything.
Sure.
Okay.
Yes, Miss Miller. Anything you say, Miss Miller.
Yes, thank you. Okay, let's go to Dave in Colorado. Hickenlooper scraped it out in Colorado, which is good. Dave in Colorado, hello.
Hi, man, I haven't felt this safe without a safe word in years. Back here today.
Yeah, go ahead.
Anyway.
Go ahead.
So anyway, serious note though. Did you notice that 3 states, red states, passed raises in minimum wage?
Yep. Isn't that interesting? And then they voted for the Republicans that will never let that happen. Isn't that?
I know, but it still shows that the progressives have a message if they'll just run on it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look, we were talking about all the factors, but we had to work on all of them, quite honestly, because that is a major disconnect. And I've said it before. It's not just that issue, Dave. It's almost every issue. In polling, people agree with Democrats. It's either, like Chris said, we're putting out the wrong candidates that are, you know, they got to man up, all of them. You know what I mean? They got to run on their accomplishments. I think that certainly played into this.
And you're absolutely right. I mean, to that extent, Udall only ran a one-issue campaign as far as
women's issues.
On women's issues, and unfortunately, they didn't turn out the way they thought they would.
Yeah. Well, you know who is going to win on women's issues? Hillary Clinton, because if you thought this was racist, this whole campaign against President Obama these last few years, wait till you see how sexist what they try to do to her and how I think that's going to backlash.
So, can I ask you a question?
Yes,
that's what you brought it up.
Yes.
And I'll let you go. There's been talk about maybe somebody like an Elizabeth Warren or a Bernie Sanders running against her. You think that would be a mistake considering just what happened last night?
Well, number one, look, Charlie Pierce is a very good friend of Elizabeth Warren's, and I deal in the world of realities, and he's said over and over and over again she is not going to run. So I don't know why we want to put our time and energy into
Okay.
Yeah, but I mean, I love Bernie Sanders, and that would probably, I think that would, he's not going to win, but I think it would strengthen, I'm all for a good primary. But okay, let's go to Danny in West Virginia. Hi, Danny, welcome.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I love you guys, and I've got a comment about what happened in West Virginia, but first I have to say, Steph, I think that Chris is fibbing when he makes jokes about your age. To me, you look like you're about 24 years old, and you're as close to the most perfect female I have ever.
Oh my God! Really, Danny? Really?
No, and I was in the entertainment business for 25 years.
That's right, Danny. Thank you.
She's sensational.
I am sensational.
I love her dogs even.
I'm 20. Oh my God. Okay, go ahead, Danny. Just just ignore him. He's like my little brother behind the couch while we're making out. Okay, go ahead.
Your sense of humor is great, too.
Thank you.
Here in West Virginia, Shelley Moore Capito runs. She's the son of a famous crook. She's the daughter of a famous crook.
Right.
And she is clearly, and everybody knows she's in the pocket of the Koch brothers.
Right.
Evan Jenkins won in the 3rd District in the southern part of the state. He also is a Koch whore.
Mm-hmm.
And they told him there was the Obama war on coal, and therefore they had to get rid of the Democrats.
Right.
I work in the energy sector now, and all over the world, the European Central Bank will not finance any more coal plants. China has announced they're going to be off coal entirely by the year 2020.
Yeah.
So, there's no truth, but the people bought into it, and they've basically ended democracy. We now have a corporatocracy, and the public is too dumb to figure it out.
Yep, absolutely. This spectacular 24-year-old. Thanks you, sir.
Well, have a great day. Thanks a lot. You guys are great. You brighten my day every day.
You're 24 2 times over.
Shut up. You know this is only a good day for? David Koch. It's a good day for him.
Mike, tell us why you became involved with the Tea Party movement.
We want to take our country back.
Who do you want to take our country back from?
Well, we want to take it back from a Congress and a president who've forgotten that government derives its power from the consent of the governed, and instead is that can call it special interests and corporations.
That's what confounds the media. We are not being run by a George Soros type figure.
Okay, have either of you ever heard the name David Koch?
I'm sorry?
My friend, the captain. David Koch. Have you ever heard the name Koch Industries?
Are you talking about Coca-Cola?
KOCH. Koch Industries is the second largest private company in the country. And they could buy and sell George Soros 10 times over. Bankroll Tea Party candidates in excess of $40 million. Are the Koch brothers average Americans whose voices are being drowned out by lobbyists and special interests? I'm confounded.
Yeah, the most expensive midterm campaign in American history. Stumbled into Election Day. Voter interest, by the way, at a record low. We're saying it's exactly what Republicans want. Lots of dark money.
Yep.
And, and just they did succeed in the whole both sides do it. I mean, how do you have a president whose approval rating is 40 whatever? Republican Congress is a 13% approval rating, but we voted for more Republicans?
Yeah.
The answer to that is more Republicans. Okay. A slowly but steadily improving economy, I'm reading from the New York Times, with 6 months of strong growth, gasoline below $3 a gallon for the first time in 4 years, a substantial deficit reduction has not translated into broader optimism. All the things Mitch McConnell just said that they're going to do, President Obama's already done it. They tried to stop doing all the stuff he did that lowered the deficit, that grew jobs, that cut unemployment in half, that gave millions of Americans health insurance. I mean, it's stunning. Anyway, it has not translated into broader optimism. I think the steady drumbeat of all these negative ads and the mainstream media picking up those Republican memes, I think that's part of it. Is people just don't feel like things are better yet because they've been told over and over again they're not better yet.
Yeah. Liberal media, my ass.
Right. Voters are more inclined toward blame than credit. I think that's a really good point. Instead, they are seemingly worn down by economic struggles and late waves of panic, chiefly about the threats posed by ISIS and Ebola, which exactly again plays into Republican hands in terms of what are we going to fearmonger and divide about this election. Polls showed voter interest in the election substantially lower than 4 years ago. The real intensity has been generated by the deluge of broadcast television ads. More than 1.5 million aired during this election cycle. Dean Obadala will join us. He was in, I believe, North Carolina, and he said this is how we can get terrorists to talk, to be subjected to this amount of campaign ads.
Yeah, I guess we're lucky in California. We didn't have any Senate races. Right. And, it was a very minor gubernatorial race. Jerry Brown won handily. Right. Again.
Again.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
We didn't have the onslaught that other states have.
It took me about 4.5 seconds to vote. Just, Brown. Newsom, Kamala Harris, Adam Schiff. Done. Check, taxi. Out of here. All right, 46 minutes after the hour, right back on the Stephanie Miller Show. It is the Stephanie Miller Show. Dean Obadala coming up at the top of the hour. Michael Tomasky as well. And,
Dean was up late last night.
Yes, and Carlos Alazraqui, comedian extraordinaire, in hour number 3 for Coffee with Carlos. All right, 1-800-STEPH-12, the phone number, toll-free from anywhere. Mitch McConnell, yesterday after his big win.
Tonight, I pledge you this. Whether you're a coal miner in eastern Kentucky who can't find work, or a mom in Paducah who doesn't understand why the government just took away her family's health insurance, I've heard
because of you, asshat.
I've made them my own.
Yeah.
You will be heard in Washington.
I know how I'm going to get her health care. I'm going to pull out Obamacare root and branch.
Yeah.
Okay. Once again,
McConnell played dirty, and Allison Grimes played very clean, and that's not how you win against dirty, unfortunately.
By the way, somebody, I think Tomasky wrote about this last-minute thing that voter intimidation thing that Mitch McConnell did, and we'll talk to him about that. Let's go to, we might as well open up a troll line or two.
Sure.
Joe in Houston. Hello, Joe.
Good morning.
Good morning.
What is, with this Republican House and their obstructionism, what is your definition of obstructionism? The reason I ask...
Saying no to absolutely everything the president has...
Yes, including stuff that the people want.
So would Harry Reid be defined as the same because of all the bills he has on his desk from the House that he won't put up for a vote? Would that
all the crazy bills that are nothing that the American people want and the president would veto anyway? What would be the point?
How do we know what's on there? Because he won't.
How do we know what's on there? We know what's on the crazy House bills.
So what is Obama? Or what is the Senate trying to pass that's so great that the Republicans won't pass?
Raising the things that people wildly voted for last night: raising the minimum wage, comprehensive immigration reform, jobs bills for infrastructure.
Are on minimum wage.
Pardon me?
You know what the percentage of Americans that are on minimum wage is?
Why did 3 red states overwhelmingly vote to raise the minimum wage?
Answer that question, please.
That's the whole point. The states should be able to do what they want. It shouldn't be a federal mandate.
Okay, but does it make sense to you that they overwhelmingly voted for that and then voted for the candidate that is going to block that is against that?
Exactly. You stunned him into silence.
I did. It was my fact stun gun.
I know.
I just feel like I'm going to twirl my 6-shooters now.
It's kind of easy.
All right. He thought that was going to go better. Tom in Albuquerque, you're on the Stephanie Miller Show. Hello, Tom.
Hi, Steph. Well, this is not a very good morning, is it?
Well, there's got to be a morning after. Sing with me.
Oh, boy.
I just had to. All right, go ahead.
This wasn't just 2010. It was 2010 on steroids. CBS last night showed a graphic that was stunning to me. It compared 2012 to 2014. And people over 65, self-identified conservatives, and whites actually voted in greater numbers, a greater percentage than in 2012, a presidential election. And young people and minorities and self-identified liberals voted less. You know, unless we vote, we lose.
Yeah. Yep.
That's it.
Yeah.
You know, and I wasn't terribly excited about the races here in New Mexico, where I'm from. And as it turns out, they weren't very close. But I voted because it's not just my right, it's my duty.
Yep, that's right. That's right. I mean, that's what I think you're right is the bigger fear is that this, like, further makes people, I mean, there's a lot of committed liberals I know that, you know, maybe that's just today. They're like, I'm done, I'm not, you know, paying attention to politics anymore. And that's exactly the wrong reaction. Because, you know, yeah, I mean, but it's that sense of hopelessness with all this dark money and voter suppression. But you know what? If we turn out in big enough numbers, we've shown that we can overcome that. We really can.
Absolutely.
All right. And I have a new future husband, which is that guy, the photobomb guy.
In Kentucky, yeah.
That guy in Kentucky that gave the big crazy eye thumb down right behind
Mitch McConnell, yeah.
Well, he was voting. Oh, I have a future wife stack. Oh, and this, I better hurry.
Okay.
It's never too late, says a 102-year-old voting in her first national election.
Oh.
A California woman, Guadalupe Portillo, is 102 years old. And she had never voted in a national U.S. election until yesterday.
Oh.
Originally from Mexico, she came to the U.S. in the 1980s as a legal resident. Calm down, everybody. And just last year became a U.S. citizen. She hopes to see immigration reform in her lifetime. That's why I'm voting. She said, I may be old, but I'm one more voice. Portillo was disappointed. She's disappointed in you. And she's 102. And she got her ass to the polls. Disappointed! She said she was disappointed in reports about voter apathy among Latinos. It's never too late. Here I am at my age still fighting, and you won't even vote?
Yeah.
I love you. Love you, Guadalupe. That's exactly right. This is like, I read that, and it was an LA Times piece that made my head explode about it. Latinos are going to sit this up. Oh, that's a good way to get comprehensive immigration reform done and get more Republicans in, whose crazy base will never, ever let them vote for any form of...
Oh, dear.
I need more of the morning after.
Oh, dear.
You have it? Come on. All right, we've gotten some more. Hey, a lot of bad days for people and a lot of LOLs. Thank you. Come on. The comedy gods have given us Joni Ernst. There are little silver linings in yesterday's Poseidon adventure, and there does have to be a morning after. It'll be our theme song today.
Floor.
Oh, Iowa! No, Crazy Twisty the Clown won. All right. We'll find a place that's safe and warm, making fun of Joni Ernst together. Here we go. It's not too late, not while we're living. All right. The Poseidon Adventure theme. Yeah. Perfect. All right, so lots to get to. Why, look at here.
Here he comes, yes, it's Dino Badala. Yes, it's Dino Badala. Dino Badala.
Hello, sir. Good morning.
How are you guys? It's great to talk. You know, I went to bed early and I just woke up, so I didn't watch the news. Anything happen?
Right, no, nothing. Nothing. Everything's fine.
Well, that's good, because I'm feeling pretty good today. I got to check the election results. That's going to, I hope Democrats did well, right? I mean,
I hate to say it, sir, but your Daily Beast, his piece yesterday, as John McLaughlin would say, wrong!
Wrong. Well, I chose that as an aspirational piece.
Yeah, yeah, it's aspirational.
Trying to help the Democrats to come out and vote, and to make myself feel better about drinking at 8 a.m.
Yes, you predicted Kay Hagan would pull it out. No,
wrong. I can't. You know what can you do? This is okay though, because now we're going to have. The Republicans will finally show us what they're about, which means say goodbye to reproductive rights, say goodbye to raising minimum wage, forget pathway to citizenship. They'll probably make an exemption in Obamacare if they can pass it, so that employers, every employer, not just Hobby Lobby, can not have to pay for contraceptive devices for women.
And by the way,
they're definitely going to try that, and they're going to try to limit abortion to 20 weeks. So we're going to finally see, maybe they can turn America into Kansas and North Carolina. So let's see how great that works out for the rest of us.
And you, by the way, are going to need your Obamacare because you have PTED, post-traumatic election ad disorder, as you write. You spent 3 days in the Senate battleground state of North Carolina. You said if our government ever needs to get a terrorist to talk, just force him to sit through all of the ads that you did.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yeah, but it's probably a violation of some Geneva Convention type of thing. It's just hideous. Like when I was in North Carolina last week, and now it seems like years ago because the election's over, and if Hagan had won, I would have felt so good about myself. But it was nonstop. Like it just wouldn't end. It was just one crossroads. The Karl Rove people against the Democratic majority, super PAC, back and forth, and then the candidates. When you really watch these ads, so few were actually the candidates on ad. They were by outside parties, outside groups doing this.
Thank you, Citizens United.
Sickening.
Yeah. And by the way, the other thing you mentioned, GOP has done everything it can to make voting more challenging to those groups who traditionally don't vote for them. The voter ID laws, they reduced early voting, they ended pre-registration for 16 and 17-year-olds, limited same-day voter registration. Like you say, these are all elements in what happened yesterday.
Well, I think the Republicans hate democracy. I think we can say that now, unless you're going to vote for them. So, you can argue over voter ID laws because actually I think polls show like 70% of Americans think you should have to show some ID, but you can't. So we can have a discussion on that, but you cannot. There's no merit to closing early registration. Early voting. They shut it from 17 to 10 days in North Carolina.
No, that's exactly it. There is no other reason to make it harder for people to vote or have less people vote than if those particular groups you're targeting don't tend to vote for you.
Absolutely, and the same thing. Why would you eliminate same-day registration and voting? And why would you have? There's no articulable reason other than partisan reasons to not allow 17-year-olds to register to vote in advance, pre-register, so they automatically, when they turn 18, can vote. The whole goal is because younger people tend to vote Democratic, not all, but tend to. The Republicans are trying to make it more difficult, and I was in Appalachian State, and what they did there was atrocious, the Republicans. Unbelievable to me.
They tried to close down voting locations that favored Democrats, but you were talking about this particular one. Republicans were forcing students to drive 20 minutes from campus to vote. Obviously, some students wouldn't have access to transportation or simply would not have voted exactly what Republicans are hoping for. In this case, in that one case, the judge ruled against them, though, right?
Right, but there were Democrats had to go to court, and the judge said the only reason you did this, the sole reason, was the judge's exact decision, the sole reason Republicans did this was to disenfranchise younger voters because they're going to vote Democratic. They don't care, the Republicans. There's no sense of right or wrong when it comes to voting. It's we're going to win, and if we can't do it through issues and policies you'll support us for that, we're going to make it much more difficult for African Americans, for lower income, for young people. To vote, and it's a question of requiring, government IDs, which can range from $5 to $30 or $40 to have to vote, to actually closing voting places or making it more difficult to vote.
Dean, and I was reading. I was
go down so much. I mean, the last thing they should be doing is disenfranchising people. Right. It's just going to make younger people say, I don't care. Why should I even vote at all?
Well, exactly, and that's what the lesson from this better be. We better turn out in bigger numbers than ever because of all of these efforts to limit our right to vote. And like I was reading a report yesterday where North Carolina's new election restrictions turning away voters. There were 2 polling places south of city center. Voters were turning up in steady numbers throughout the morning, but many of them weren't casting ballots. They were being turned away because they weren't in their correct precinct. This is another thing that they're doing. One woman said she had visited 8 different polling locations before finally ending up at the correct one. The poll watcher there said probably my guess is 8 out of 10 people are at the wrong precinct. They said the cause is most likely North Carolina's new law that eliminated out-of-precinct voting. The lower court reasoned that eliminating out-of-precinct voting would disproportionately impact African-American voters. Again, exactly what they're hoping for.
It's unreal, isn't it?
Right.
I mean, isn't it? There's no defense of that, and it's truly an affront, I think, to democracy. And I wish people would get angry about it. It just seems like us, are the, and people on the left are the only ones angry. The people on the right with this cookie-cutter conservatism, where one state passes. So now you have 20 states. You have about 33 states right now with voter ID laws. 20 require photos that are government-issued photos. Those become more expensive. The other 13 are much more reasonable, saying you can bring a utility bill, a bank statement with your name and address on it. That's kind of a reasonable thing to me. But the government-issued photo ID and making people pay for it if they don't have it, it's truly a poll tax, and some courts have found that. And then closing voting booths in an early election again. It's just outrageous.
I'm reading the same headline in Texas. Texas voting restrictions sow confusion at the polls. At a polling site in the 3rd Ward, historically African-American, of course, 2 voters have been turned away for lacking photo ID. One simply left it at home, would have to make an additional trip. The other had to cast a provisional ballot, which we know has a much lower chance of actually being counted. They were documenting much more common problems, people showing up at the wrong precinct. Often due to very gerrymandered districts, a voter may live just across the street from a polling place, would be assigned to one a couple miles away. Under Texas law, ballots cast in the wrong precinct are not counted. Again, you're just a way to make it harder for people.
They want to do that. And in Texas, I read stories about people who had government-issued IDs but driver's license from neighboring states because they had moved, and Texas won't accept a neighboring state's driver's license as a government-issued ID. That's just ludicrous. So then these people are forced to go, if they don't, to get a new driver's license, which might cost them $30, even if they don't need it at that point yet. If they have it, at some point they will, but when you move to a state right away, you don't need to get a new driver's license for a period of time under the law. So. And if they don't have a birth certificate because they can't find it, there were stories about that in Texas I read about. Someone said I had moved and I lost my birth certificate. So again, now they have to go pay for a new birth certificate to bring it to the same polling place that they voted for years. The people probably even know them there.
And by the way, Dean, here's another one that I hadn't heard of. But there were 7 voting sites reported in Texas. They were supposed to open at 7 a.m. but open late, some as late as 8:30. This made the lines, of course, quite long once they did open. One election volunteer said it's a huge impediment because people are trying to vote before going to work. Everyone thinks of injustice as something obvious and out there, but just like in the days of the poll tax, now it's about frustrating voters in small ways. Injustice can be banal, and that's exactly right.
And there was other articles, if you read, about the subtle way, what you're getting at there is not funding election workers in African-American districts.
Right. Fewer voting machines, fewer poll workers, and so the lines are long and people have to give up. They got to go to work. They need child care.
And in Broward County yesterday, apparently the polls opened late, and Charlie Crist asked them to stay open later, to make up for it.
And they said no.
And they said no.
Yeah.
Well, and definitely there's been studies that show the wait time for African Americans at their voting districts is higher than...
Yeah, Mother Jones. I have it right in front of me, even without voter ID laws.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, this is not happenstance. People have to realize this is not just happening by chance. This is a plan by Republicans to disenfranchise people who are going to vote for Democrats, at least in their mind are going to vote for Democrats. And it's an attack on democracy. It truly is. And people should be upset. And Republicans should be upset, too. The ones who are not hyper-partisan should say, that's just wrong. I would be upset if Democrats were doing it to Republicans.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Let me read this line from Mother Jones. Long lines force people to eventually give up and go home, depressing voter turnout, and that happens regularly all across the country in precincts with lots of minority voters, even without voter ID or other voting restrictions in place. And they did the study, Dean. African Americans wait about twice as long to vote in the 2012 election as white people, 23 minutes on an average versus 12 minutes. Hispanics waited 19 minutes. White people who live in neighborhoods whose residents are less than 5% minority had the shortest of all wait times, just 7 minutes. I was saying, Dean, yesterday and in the last election, I almost felt embarrassed. It probably took me about 30 seconds to get in and out and vote.
Well, you're Stephanie Miller. You have a special voting for Stephanie Miller.
No, but I mean, it was in some of these elections, Dean, where you're watching these poor people in the rain back east or in the snow, whatever is going on in the weather, waiting 8 hours in these lines. I mean, it is absolutely outrageous. You're right.
I live in New York City. If I walk into like a deli and there's 2 people online, I leave. Okay, so, I mean, these people... There
was a report. Did you see the report here in Brentwood? There was a harpist. There was a harpist and pastries and coffee. It's
really?
A bowling place over there. Yeah.
That'd be a nice
guy
thing.
playing a harp. Yes. Hello. Welcome.
It sounds like you're in heaven.
Yeah.
You know, like voting. It's paradise.
No, now we're in the 8th circle of hell. But, yeah.
But for 2016, between now and 2016, this should be a real issue. The Democrats and moderates, progressives and moderates, and hopefully some enlightened conservatives will join us in fighting against this, because there was a study done that came out in September. The GAO, it's a government nonpartisan organization, did a study, and it showed that in states where they have these voter ID laws, it's suppressed voter turnout on average about 2 to 3% disproportionately against African Americans.
Yeah, and a lot of these races close. A lot of these third-party candidates drew away, and a lot of these dark money ads peeled just enough away from the Democrat, to this third party.
Why don't we call them dark money? Can we call them white money? I think we should call white money, because it's the white people giving the money. Dark makes it seem like it's people of color giving the money. It's white people trying to steal an election. Damn it.
It's Muslim money.
I know it's funny we're doing this little picayune thing, Muslim money, this thing, but the election overall, I'm not sure if 1%, it would have meant something in some states, to be honest.
Yeah.
But this was a bad, like, I was doing Al Jazeera coverage last night, and some people were packing to go to Canada. They're like, we're out of here.
Wow.
It's really going to be...
Scott Brown is packing again.
We'll move back to Massachusetts. Yeah.
Did you see they asked...
Run next.
Did you see they asked him, are you going to stay here if you lose? He's like, oh, of course. I'm like, yeah, while he's packing the carpet bag in the back of the truck. Yeah, right.
I got my cards ready. I got to go.
Yeah.
That was one of the few bright spots in the whole election.
Right.
And that turned out so tight of a race, which really was an indicator how bad the rest of the nation was going to go. Because the guy literally had just moved there to run.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
And maybe at a summer house, but who cares? But it was a something.
I think he still had his GPS on. Recalculating route to another state.
The Republicans ran this one theme thing, reject Obama, and it seems that the Democrats just ran away from Obama.
Yeah.
Didn't talk about anything. Like today it just came out. We had the 7th straight month with 200,000 plus jobs created in the private sector. You didn't hear Democrats talk about that, or unemployment down to 5.9%.
I know. I said it over and over and over again. We played, the Bill Maher rant that he said the exact same thing. We've been saying it over and over, Dean, and I hope that, they take the right lesson from this, because it really is. How'd that work out for you, running away from the president's record?
Well, I can't wait till Chris Christie tells Rand Paul to shut up, so that'll be kind of cool.
Yeah.
There you go.
Sit down and shut up.
Yeah. All right, Dean, we're out of time, honey. Thanks for getting up early for us.
Go get some sleep.
Thanks, bye.
All right, bye-bye. There he goes. 20 minutes after the hour, we roll along. Michael Tomasky coming up at the bottom of the hour on the Stephanie Miller Show.
We're collapsing.
Yeah, none of it's dark money, so there. If only. It is the... didn't you love that caller yesterday?
Yeah.
Hope y'all aren't going away after the election as if we're getting... propped up by some sort of
dark
Democratic
money.
Right. Yeah, okay. Hey, maybe that's something the Democrats want to take a page from all the right-wing groups that are popping up the right-wing radio shows. Maybe if you want any sort of progressive media at all, maybe time to pony up. Okay. Just throwing that out there.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, here, let the circular firing squad begin. So Harry Reid's chief of staff tossed the Democrats' brutal midterm results at the feet of President Obama.
Yep.
Oh, I see. So it's not their faults for running against President Obama's spectacular record. It's his fault for having the spectacular record.
Why didn't the Democrats highlight that spectacular record?
Would you like the fun facts again? Really? He said the president's approval rating is barely 40%. Really? Okay, well, the Republican Congress approval rating is 13%. So how the country voted for more Republicans, gee, I wonder it's because you didn't run on the accomplishments of the Obama administration. He said, what else more is there to say? He wasn't going to play well in North Carolina or Iowa or New Hampshire. I'm sorry, it doesn't mean the message was bad, but sometimes the messenger isn't good. Oh, really? You mean the messenger that accomplished all these things? 63 straight months of economic expansion, the longest period of private sector job creation in American history, unemployment from 10.1 to 5.9. Stock market continues, sets new records. Federal budget deficit shrinking. It's been reduced by 2/3 since 2009. Spending has increased at only 1.4% annually, the lowest rate since Eisenhower was president for 95% of American taxpayers. Income taxes are lower now than just about any time in the previous 15 years.
Gas prices
Right. 7 millions more have a health care, Affordable Care Act has added years to the life of Medicare. Slowest rate of increase in health care costs since 1960. I had zero successful attacks by Al-Qaeda on U.S. soil. Okay. All right. Yeah, you're right. It's his fault. Yeah, good idea. Continue to run away from him. Nicely done. How'd that work out for you yesterday? You losers. Okay. Like I have to say, Allison Grimes, it's just this because this was like a standard. All those clips you saw yesterday of them asking a Democratic candidate, would you like the president to come? And then there's this wide-eyed stare. Just this, I don't need any surrogates. I am perfectly willing to winning with my own message. I certainly don't need. I don't know what you're. Yeah, oh my God, they got these like deer in the headlights. Any Democrat that they asked about President Obama.
Yeah, Grimes was a delegate for President Obama.
Yeah, I think she probably did vote for him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Tonight didn't bring us the result that we had hoped for. This journey, the fight for you, it was worth it. I will continue to fight for the Commonwealth of Kentucky each and every day. My hope is the message has been sent to Congress that we need to work to increase the minimum wage, to close the gender pay gap, and to bring good-paying jobs back to the Commonwealth of Kentucky.
Right. Guess who was fighting for all that stuff? President Obama was.
He could have helped you.
And so guess who we have instead? Direct from the biscuit line at Hardee's. Hi, I'm Joni Ernst. I'm Senator Twisty the Clown. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. All right, Michael Tomasky of the Daily Beast next on the Stephanie Miller Show.
Stressful. No wonder you're always drunk.
It is the Stephanie Miller Show. Talking to it 34 minutes after the hour. 1-800-STEPH-12, the phone number, toll free from anywhere. No one I'd rather spend the morning after with.
Oh.
Gently spooning in his arms than Michael Tomasky of the Daily Beast.
We should be.
That's right. Okay. Hold me, Michael Tomasky.
You've melted my cold heart.
Aww.
I was sitting here wondering what the heck I was thinking, agreeing to come on the radio this morning and talk about all this mess.
I gotta say,
you flipped me with Karen Carpenter's.
Right. No, it's
or Maureen McGovern.
Maureen McGovern.
Maureen McGovern.
The Oscar-winning song from the Poseidon Adventure.
Right.
Oh boy, what a humiliation! I see how rattled my brain is.
Right. And Poseidon Adventure is sort of the perfect theme for yesterday.
Yeah.
By the way, you called it your piece. The GOP is likely to win big on Tuesday. That's what you wrote. And I mean,
well, I wasn't the only one.
Yeah. Well, right, but I mean, and I hadn't even heard of this one. Like last minute, you said that Mitch McConnell sends out a mailer to Eastern Kentucky voters as it's obviously a voter suppression device designed to confuse voters into thinking they'll be breaking the law if they cast ballots. And as you alluded to, got away with it. Of course, he got away with it. Meanwhile, Iowans about to send a serious extremist to the Senate, Joni Ernst. I totally forgot about that she said she was going to. She's about to join the same federal government she declared is not safe from her beautiful little Smith & Wesson.
Mm-hmm. What was surprising last night? A lot of things were surprising, but it was the margins.
Right.
I mean, it was all these close polls, right?
Right.
That Georgia was neck and neck. Purdue was 2 points ahead of none on average, and he wins by 15 points or something like that. And Cotton was ahead of Pryor by 5 or 6, and he wins by 17. And Ernst was ahead on average by 3, and she wins by 9, and just on and on and on down the row like that. So, I mean, it tells you that the pollsters didn't have a very good handle on who would constitute this electorate, and the electorate was much more Republican and conservative than people anticipated, and that tells you, Democrats stayed home, and as we say in West Virginia, Bob's your uncle.
Yeah.
Michael, I have been making this point over and over again, and we played, Bill Maher's rant where he made the same point. I just think the other colossal miscalculation was running against this president's record, which is, really, I've been through it so many times I'm blue in the face, but I mean, the record. I mean, unemployment rate cut in half, millions of people have health insurance, deficit down, spending down. I mean, just thing after thing after thing. and running away from that record, right? I mean, and a lot of people have compared it to Al Gore running away from Bill Clinton's record.
Yeah, I mean, well, it makes you tear your hair out when you look at something like Kentucky. Last week, the New York Times published a map. Every state, every county in every state, the percentage of insured people had increased by X percent. And if you looked at Kentucky, the increases were enormous.
Yeah.
I forget the number, but the number of newly insured people under this law.
Right, and they just elected the guy that's going to pull it out root and branch.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. And look at the three red states.
She couldn't bring it up. And she couldn't bring it up. And, a lot of people want to criticize her for not bringing it up. And I might join that criticism, but in a way, like, it wasn't going to do her any good. It was tied to Barack Obama. It wasn't going to do her any good.
Michael, this is what I think the thing that is, speaking of tearing hair out, is the three red states that voted overwhelmingly to raise the minimum wage, and then they voted for the candidates that are going to stop it from ever happening.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, there is a huge disconnect going on, isn't there?
Yeah, there is. And, Cotton played that pretty slick in Arkansas. That's one of the states you're referring to. Tom Cotton is the Republican. Right. He actually did support this ballot initiative. He said, as a citizen, I will support that ballot initiative. But then he went on to say, in not so many words, but once you send me to Washington, by God, I'm not going to put up with Washington messing around with the minimum wage.
Yeah. Well, and you also mentioned, you say there's a lot of things candidates can get away with saying and doing in this election cycle. There's one thing you can't do, mildly say anything that resembles the truth about race in America, as Senator Landrieu did. And you say, can anyone argue with a straight face that racism is not a factor at all in how some white voters feel about Obama in some states? I mean, but I guess we have to pretend it's shocking, right?
Yeah, well, I don't know how much that comment hurt her. I mean, at least she's going into a runoff. She's probably going to lose it, but... Right. But look, I mean, a lot of this, if president, I don't know what I'm trying to say. It's too speculative what I'm trying to say.
I get it. Well, I mean,
you know what I mean.
Right.
It's there. Right. It's in the air.
Yeah, you pointed out, you say it just so happens that of the 10 states where Obama had his lowest levels of white support, 8 are in the old Confederacy. It's just,
and Louisiana was second lowest. Mississippi, of course, was lowest.
Right.
So you don't, and Republicans don't have to say, obviously, at this point in history, they don't have to say BLACK or show a scary picture, where they make his skin darker like people used to do with OJ. You just have to say Obama and, stuff like that. Welfare president, like Newt Gingrich likes to say.
Yeah, exactly. All the code stuff that we've come to, you were saying embedded in the whole set of presumptions about 47% of the moocher class, laced into the hatred of Obamacare is to some extent an assumption that it's basically for black people. I mean, there is all of that going on, right?
Yeah, all of that and then some. So then we'll see. The next Democratic nominee will be presumably white, whoever that is. Might be a woman, might not be. I think that alone will change the situation to some extent.
Right.
In some of these places. It doesn't mean she's going to win Hillary Clinton, Louisiana, but it might mean she could win North Carolina.
Yeah, well, exactly. I mean, because you know me, I'm a silver lining gal, Michael, but,
I do know that.
But I do think, again, I mean, this is generally, historically, this kind of thing has happened, and obviously the map not only favors us in 2016 Senate-wise, but as you say, certainly according to any polling, presidentially. So, now I feel like the great thing is now they have to govern. So, this is great. We can, the party of no, I guess, is going to have to try to do something, right?
I don't know that that's true. I don't really know that that's true. I mean, look, obstructionism is what they've been doing. Mm-hmm. Last night, what happened? Obstructionism got rewarded.
Yeah.
You're right.
Way, they're not going to try to please. Mitch McConnell isn't going to try to please the Washington Post editorial board. He's going to try to please conservative voters and make sure they come out and vote in 2016.
Right.
They don't want compromise. So I don't see. There may be a few things, or they may do this Trans-Pacific trade partnership thing,
right,
or something like that. But which is going to be controversial on the liberal side, by the way. They're going to pass immigration.
No.
Maybe, but I don't really see it.
No.
Right. Well, I mean, but that's what I mean. It's just, my point is we'll see how all that plays in 2016, right? The fact that, largely the issues the American people are behind, they're not for those things. They're not going to do those things, right?
Yeah.
Minimum wage, immigration reform, infrastructure, jobs bills, right? Any of that kind of stuff.
No, God, no, none of that.
Oh, God, no.
None of that. No chance.
Yeah. Well, we shall see. But you know what? Listen, I enjoyed being on defense during the Bush administration, so the comedy gods have given us Joni Ernst. So I'm going to just enjoy for now.
How about that laugh of hers?
Yeah, how about that?
Oh,
how about that
God.
creepy, evil laugh?
Because first she didn't laugh during the debate.
Yeah, it's like, where did that come from?
Oh, boy.
Twisty the Clown.
Yeah, it really is really something. Michael, great stuff as always. Just, listen, gentle down. I'm here. I'm here to spoon with you every week.
Well, it means I can't tell you what that means.
Aw.
All right. Thank you, Michael.
Thanks.
All right. There he goes. Michael Tomowski. Yep.
Of the Daily Beast.
The Daily Beast. He was right. On to happy clappiness.
Is there any?
What's this? Oh, from, where's this, Left Wing Nation? It's a good piece. Chill out, liberals. The Republicans took the Senate, and that's terrible.
It's from addictinginfo.org.
Okay.
Yep.
No, I just thought some good points. You see, for the last 6 years, the only thing Republicans have had to do is say no to anything and everything President Obama and the Democrats put forth. That's easy when your base hates the president so much they would happily light themselves on fire if he said third-degree burns are bad for you.
Yeah.
I think you ought to just, with him like that. But now Republicans have to do something they no longer know how to do, lead. I'm buying popcorn for this. Shooting spitballs from the back of the class at the smart kids doesn't require much effort. Standing at the front of the class solving problems requires both brains and discipline, something the GOP is sorely lacking in both. This is the same Republican Party that forced a government shutdown because the Tea Party caucus blocked their own debt ceiling bill because it wasn't extreme enough. The same Republican Party that forced Speaker of the House John Boehner to pull his own immigration bill because the Tea Party caucus decided that wasn't extreme enough. Same Republican Party that's been threatening to impeach President Obama for years. Heck, they came up with a ridiculous lawsuit against the president that no law firm will take because judges keep laughing it out of court. The Republican Party is controlled by crazed extremists, and they will use their newfound power to prove just how crazy they are. They can't help themselves. And it goes on to what to look forward to the next 2 years. Now they have the Senate. Conservatives will demand, right, that they defund, repeal,
absolutely,
branch, Obamacare, whatever that is.
Whatever. Branch.
Attacking people's health care, sure path to electoral suicide, but the base won't care because they hate Obama with a blind rage.
Yeah.
If Republicans don't try, the base will turn on them, and here come the primaries from the far right. Impeachment, same thing. Fox News, and wants impeachment proceedings so badly they can taste it. They, as they're saying, simply want the massive ratings the doomed to fail impeachment hearings will bring. Republicans in the Senate still remember how that backfired with Clinton, blah, blah, blah. But then if they don't, here come the primaries from the far right again. The House will pass insane bills. The Senate will try to smooth out the extremism to attract even a handful of Democrats. The House GOP will froth at the mouth, and here comes the primaries from the right.
Yep.
Ted Cruz will be running for president. He'll take every opportunity to undermine Mitch McConnell as Senate Majority Leader. Several other Republicans will be running for president as well, and they'll be loudly demagoguing to the farthest of the far right. Expect normal humans to be nauseated. Mitch McConnell has already said he will be trying to blackmail President Obama at every opportunity with threatened shutdowns. How do you think that's going to go over with the public? Anyway, on and on. Great piece. We will post it up on the Facebook page.
You already tweeted it out this morning.
Of course I did. Okay, 45 minutes after the hour. Lots more crunchy audio goodness from the Poseidon Adventure last night on the Stephanie Miller Show. It is the Stephanie Miller Show. Welcome to it. 50 minutes after. Welcome to the morning after. 1-800-STEPH12. Why, look who's here to perk us up.
That's good coffee.
I take it black, like my man.
Coffee with Carlos El Rocky.
Have a Zimbabwe latte. I'll have a Kenya cappuccino.
Jimmy never has the same cup of coffee at home. Mountain grown coffee.
Carlos El Rocky.
I was going to make espresso.
And it's by Juan Valdez.
Coffee with Carlos.
Good last drop.
It's me, Red Buttons. We can climb to the top of that pine tree, Christmas tree, and make our way out.
Hooray!
Gene.
Maureen McGovern didn't make it out of the Poseidon. She died.
Morning after pill.
But the comedy gods have brought
Until
us.
the Republicans take control of the Senate, there'll be no such thing as a morning after pill.
'cause they are crazy batshit people.
Thank you, Carlos. Thank you.
I just thought I'd
little improv.
turn around and outside. I am not shocked and appalled that there's gambling going on in this establishment. When Citizens United went down, that was the beginning of the end. We knew this was going to happen. Also, when I went to Grand Rapids, Minnesota, the birthplace of Frances Ethel Gum, a.k.a. Judy Garland.
I've been to
and
Grand
there
Rapids,
was a Dairy Queen with a big old television set, 50-inch screen, blaring Fox News. I went, we are going to lose the midterm elections. Literally, Scottsdale, Arizona.
I've been there. Can I tell you a fun fact about Grand Rapids?
What?
I said I need to go. I gotta get to the airport. And my friend said, "Oh, well, let me call the cab for you." And I said, that's weird because it sounded like you said like singular. And she's like, well, there is one cab. There's a husband and wife. And if someone else is using the cab, you can't use the cab.
Oh, you can't use the cab.
No.
But no, that's what I saw. I saw a Fox News being blared into a Dairy Queen and also a breakfast place in Scottsdale. And I went, they've won. They're incredibly crafty. They spew. Mike Judge was right. It's idiocracy and it's coming.
Right. You know what they want to do? They might, the liberal side might want to throw a little dark money at?
Stephanie Miller.
Yes, that's
right.
Yes.
You want any sort of progressive infrastructure at all?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Just saying. Carlos, the good news is for us, because we have always been essentially a comedy show, the comedy gods.
Oh, yeah.
Have taketh away Michelle Bachmann, but they have given us Joni Ernst in Iowa. Did you hear? I said this in hour one. I couldn't wait for Carlos because it's his impression of the Pirates of the Caribbean ride. Okay, listen, here she is.
Well, Iowa, we did it! It's a long way from Red Oak to Washington. From the biscuit line at Hardee's to the United States Senate. But thanks to all of you, we are heading to Washington. And we are going to make them squeal.
Oh, man, that's more Cruella de Vil. That is total Cruella de Vil. We are going to make them squeal. Give me those puppies.
She looks like Twisty the Clown and sounds like Cruella de Vil.
She does. She's a climate science denier.
You know what
I
makes
can't
me
take
laugh
her
like
seriously.
that? Cutting balls.
Snip, snip.
Climate science denier. Just scary. It's scary.
That's why Poseidon Adventure is also apropos this morning.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's going to be Waterworld soon. Oh, we'll be there by tomorrow. Oh, no, not Shelley Winter's underwear. And we'll escape the darkness.
All I can say is let the vetoing begin before we win the presidential election, and then government will be really broken, and then we'll have another civil war.
My listeners, always helpers. Someone suggests the president just Xerox a picture of his middle finger and just write veto on it.
Absolutely.
Just send that every time they send a bill.
Not going to happen. I think he's going to work more with Republicans.
Is it just me that hopes just one time he goes, can you hear this? Let me turn it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not going to be any different than it has been for the last 6 years. Yeah. So.
Yeah. That's what I was saying. There was this great piece about chill out liberals. Now they have to govern. Like, you know.
Yeah, good luck getting something done.
Yeah, exactly. I was reading just a couple more pieces of this, Carlos. For sure the press will mindlessly repeat Republican claims that Obama is responsible for the continued gridlock, but the thing about the one writing bills to put in front of the president is your name actually has to be on it. Now Democrats can sit back and point at the GOP's extremism, and even the liberal media will have a hard time blaming Democrats for it. So really not much will change, what you just said in terms of policy making. Republicans will face President Obama's veto, and they are far from having the necessary votes to override it. Harry Reid has zero incentive to work with Mitch McConnell after his scumbag behavior for the last 6 years. And finally, there's 2016. Remember the awesome Republican wave in 2010? Well, that wave crashed in 2 years. Republicans will have about 24 seats up, and the Democrats will only have about 10. That's in 2016. That's right. And it's a presidential election where turnout's always higher. On top of that, Hillary Clinton will most likely be running. That'll bring even higher turnout. Remember, the higher the turnout, the worse Republicans do. This is the sole motivating factor behind their myriad voter suppression schemes. Even worse for Republicans, they won't have a black guy on the ballot to run against. That will take the wind out of their sails.
Yeah, but they'll have a chick.
Yeah, but they make a good point. Voting against a woman isn't quite as exciting, and the GOP's upcoming misogynistic attacks on Clinton will enrage women voters. I think I've said that over and over. That will backfire on them. And
they're building
saying,
a giant Benghazi Burning Man thing right now. They're constructing it.
But there is an easy. This is what he says. It's easy to get the right-wing racist vote out. Voting against a black man is like masturbation for the conservative base. Give me a break, Michael Tomowski saying. Of all the states where he had the lowest, 8 of those states are in the former Confederacy that voted the lowest, rates of voting for President Obama. What could it be? What could it be? Republicans will enjoy the Senate for the next 2 years and then lose it big time. Unfortunately, we can't do anything about the House until the next census in 2010. But just saying. I think that's true. And for comedy, we have Joni Ernst. And did you see Tom Brokaw's little...
Well, I did not see Tom Brokaw, but I want to quickly make a sports analogy. The Republican Senate is like the Dodgers, who won the National League division in the West, but the Democrats are like the Giants, who, with a wild card, came through and won the World Series.
Always
the San Francisco Giants.
Always bringing it back to the Giants.
Always bring it back. Oh, yes, Mark in the outfield.
Oh, his little burst of testosterone when he gets out of the island.
I'm not as funny as Tom Brokaw, apparently.
Oh, his cell phone rang while he was in the middle of some political analysis.
So it was pop comedy.
And then he pretended it was his wife, and he's like, "Oh, yes, I won't forget. Don't forget the milk.
I'm going to be on high is it anyway?
And the milk bones for the dog." I was like, "Don't stop." He looked a little disheveled. His glasses were a little...
I'm going to go on America's Got Talent.
All right, 58 minutes after the hour. Coffee with Carlos as we continue on this deputy. Why, yes, it is. Look, Daddy's home and he's reading the newspaper.
I'm reading the newspaper about water use in California.
Okay. It is the Stephanie Miller Show. We are in the midst of Coffee with Carlos Alzwaki, comedian extraordinaire. Recently escaped from Vagina Island. There you go.
I got out. I was playing with the littlest one, the littlest vagina this morning. Bye-bye.
All right. As you call your youngest daughter.
Yes.
Creepy. Okay, speaking of creepy, you were going to be in huge demand because of your weirdly eerie Joni Ernst impression already.
Give me those puppies.
You idiots. See? He's available for children's birthday parties? Okay. Damien in York, Pennsylvania says, "Dear Pat Robertson, you're right about the gay agenda. My polling place, the YMCA." Yep, that's right. Goodbye, Damien.
If anybody knows how to poke holes...
Please tell me that Joni Ernst has a big gay husband that sounds exactly like Paul Lynde, please.
Do we know anything about Joni Ernst's husband?
No, I can hope. Because she is my Michelle Bachmann comedy binky. She's my replacement. Thank you. Thank you, comedy gods. She turns down like manna from heaven.
Be the rebirth of grunge music and great comedy.
All right. By the way, speaking exactly, the homosexual agenda, obviously, right. Hello.
Ooh, yay! Wasn't that the Tony Awards?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Derek in Denver City by the Bay. Hello, Derek.
Hey, how are you?
Good. Your Hickenlooper held on, which is good. I had a Hickenlooper once.
Well, he's got the funniest name of all the governors. So
He does.
Yeah. We could for comedy purpose. We could not lose a Hickenlooper.
I think even he'd admit that he has a funny name.
Yeah. Well, and I think what's also funny is how neither side could learn any lessons from this. You know, the Republicans, of course, will overreach, and the Democrats, of course, will be saying, the tired old war on women and racist, and claiming that the Republicans are the only obstructionists out there, which is really kind of comical because I can hardly wait to see if Obama, as soon as Obama vetoes 2 or 3 or 4 or 10 legislation, will he become an obstructionist? And now the comeback is going to be, well, he's vetoing stupid stuff. But, it's just laughable. And that's why people are just flip-flopping back and forth.
Right, except that he will be vetoing stupid stuff.
Oh, sure, of course. Just like Harry Reid, the only things that Harry Reid doesn't allow to vote are all stupid stuff, and I know they were passed, even though about 100 of them, or several dozen of them were passed with bipartisan support in the House.
Oh, in the crazy Republican Tea Party House. Okay, all right. See what he did there? He slipped in a few talking points.
Yep, he did.
Making it seem like he was on our side. Okay. All right. Yes, right. By the way, this is something we've said over and over again. Headline: The Supreme Court will be a disaster if a justice dies during a Republican Congress. Think about it.
Yep.
GOP Senate would spell 2 years of likely gridlock, and if a Supreme Court justice becomes incapacitated or dies, the judicial gridlock could become a constitutional crisis. Yeah.
Come on, Ginsburg, hang in there.
Yeah.
Send her some vitamins.
She has been very clear to say that she is not the next one to go.
Oh. Wow, this is like Clue. Somebody's going to get a knife in the back. Who's Peter Ginsburg in the chambers?
Twisty the Clown. Involved somehow. Sue in Rockville on the Supreme Court. Hello, Sue.
Hey, good morning. If you give me a moment, I'm going to start bad and end good.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, first of all, absolutely the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court has sold our country to foreigners. To foreign corporations. We have no idea what money's come in. We have let foreign corporations as well as domestic, like the Koch brothers, buy our democracy. And so if anyone thinks the Supreme Court and who's in charge, who's in the White House, doesn't matter, wake up.
Yeah.
Number 2, the whores of corporate media. I cannot stress this enough. No matter what Democrats did, it wasn't going to help because 24/7 between CNN, between Fox, you have all these people who are just the echo chamber for the GOP, and over and over and over again, Democrats can't get out there. I will say Democrats did a piss-poor job of getting their message out and standing behind their president.
Yep.
And we need to give our money, by the way, to places like Media Matters. I mean, thank God for Eric Boehlert.
Yep.
If we didn't have, he is our one policeman of what's happening in that corporate media.
Yep.
On the good news side.
Yes.
Okay, Maryland sent back, even though we lost our governorship, we sent back all our Democratic candidates to Congress. Our state house is still bright blue.
Right.
Mark Warner won in Virginia. Jean Shaheen won in New Hampshire. Governor of Pennsylvania has flipped, and Alan Grayson is still fighting the good fight for his district.
Listen, Sue, let's get to more important issues, and that is Kevin in D.C. is on the other line, who is your partner in crime. Whores.
Excuse me, you called me a whore, a trollop, and a slut about 12 times, and I never heard you call Kevin that. And he's the one who's cheating on you.
Kevin, you are a man whore.
Thank you, because I actually am married, but we won't... Hey, Kevin...
How you doing, baby? Now we don't.
You bastard person! I hate you and your ass face.
Listen to me, Stephanie. See what I go through, Carlos. Steph has gushed and flirted with that pretty boy, Mayor Gavin. He swooned all over Van Jones.
There's only so much love that can go around.
Sue, I'm going to send you this e-card.
The hands all over her repeatedly and flirted with some firefighter with Randy Rhodes. And when Chris pointed out that was ripping up my heart, she actually taunted me about it and laughed even more. So one friendly kiss with a wonderful listener of hers, and she flips off like this. Come on, Steph.
Sue, I'm sending you this this e-card. It says, "Dear whore, your left leg misses your right leg. Sincerely, your vagina." All right.
Steph, come on. If we should be doing a lot better things with our mouths and arguing.
All right.
Instead of all this verbal shoving, we should do some verbal loving. We just had a horrible thing happen yesterday.
We did. We did, and there's only
Give
one
him
thing.
morning after.
Make up sex, exactly.
Absolutely. I mean,
Kevin has his own agenda. It's not right. It's not left. It's the Kevin agenda of love.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right. Listen, this is when to strike, when I'm most vulnerable.
And come on, we have been close enough literally to look each other in our eyes. You see the way when I get within 10 feet of you that I am reduced to a 12-year-old fanboy.
Well, and I can't get within 10 feet of you when you're excited, if you know what I'm saying.
Oh, wait a second.
It is very well endowed. All right, listen, you can go get a room. Love you. Both. Love, hate you. Love, hate you. Bye. Bye. Bye.
Man, you tease. You're such a tease.
Listen, I'm grieving this morning. I'm vulnerable.
You are very vulnerable.
Senator-elect Shelley Moore Caputo. How come all the right-wing women have three names? Capito. Why do they all have three names?
Because they can't decide.
All right.
For the first time in the history of West Virginia, we are sending a woman to the United States.
Hey, in other news, Scott Brown got beat by a girl for the second time.
Can't outrun those short shorts. The infamous photo.
The patent pink leather.
Time to don those pink
Where's
pink
Walter? Where do I live?
Yeah.
Massachusetts. I live now. I live here.
And run along to your next carpetbagging state.
That's right.
There you
Maine 08.
There's the Appalachian Trail you could take.
Although Governor LePage won in Maine last night.
Governor LePage.
Yeah.
In a blue state.
Senator-elect David Perdue of Georgia, who beat Michelle Nunn.
The only reason I think we're standing here tonight is that this message resonated across the state that we've got to change the direction of our country. As a senator, I'm going to represent every single individual in this state, and to do that, I've got to reach out to people.
Said all the right things. Sounds like an athlete. Take one day at a time.
And Michelle Nunn, like a Democrat, always happy to come in second.
We have exceeded every expectation of what was possible in this race. I just want to remind y'all that just about 15 months ago, all of the political pundits said that Georgia was not in play, and we put Georgia in play.
Well,
she does have a point there.
That is true, and we will take the T-ball.
It's tough to run as a Democrat in a very red state.
That is true.
Come on now. We like the black folks on our football team, but come on now. Let's not put them in office. Let's not get crazy. We love our Falcons. We love our Georgia Bulldogs. Them good athletes over there.
And the Braves.
And Atlanta Braves, too. The Upton brothers. We got rid of them, though.
Okay, one more. Senator-elect Cory Gardner in Colorado, Republican in Colorado.
Voters around this state had their voices heard. They are not red. They are not blue.
They're green.
But they are crystal clear. Crystal clear in their message to Washington, D.C. Get your job done and get the heck out of the way.
Get her done. Yeah, they're right. They're green. They're Koch brothers green.
Yeah. Oh, I thought you had the other kind of green, man.
Oh, the other kind of Colorado green.
I smoked a pole last night.
Speaking of that,
weed won in Oregon.
Oregon passed, recreational marijuana.
Yay! I'm your RM attendant.
But medicinal marijuana did not pass in Florida.
By the way, can I have my? This will be in honor of the weed stack, just 'cause, and I'm not saying this kid was on weed, but the Gawker headline is "Genius Surfs Dead Whale."
Yep.
Gets stranded when sharks appear all around him.
Yeah.
Oh, dude. Oh, man, I forgot about the stench.
I'm still living in town. Saturday afternoon, a man in Western Australia decided to board the carcass of a dead whale that had been floating in the water for several weeks.
As you do.
Surfing it for fun.
All right, mate.
Until he noticed the waters all around him were filled with hungry sharks.
Teeming with sharks, yes.
Harrison Williams, 26.
Mate.
He said he was trying to save the whale.
No.
Saying basically the whale looked in distress, and I tried to help it, but it was clearly I was too late. Yes, several weeks too late.
Yeah.
He said I was out on the boat with the boys, and one of my mates said it would be pretty funny to surf the whale, so I did it.
Wait, he just said he tried to help the whale, and then in the
I think
next
he
sentence...
was high. Okay. Williams saw the sharks when he swam over to the whale, but they did not deter him. Instead, when a great white shark popped up to munch on the dead creature, his friends came to his rescue with the nearby boat. Williams, a lover of extreme sports, and him, as Williams himself shared, his parents think he is an idiot.
You are an idiot. Hang on the platter.
You surfed a dead whale surrounded by great white sharks.
How many people could say that in their lives? I once served a great white. I've once served a whale. Not even Captain Ahab was brave enough to do that.
All right, 19 minutes after the hour. More coffee with Carlos Alazraki. This hour of the Stephanie Miller Show brought to you by Citrix GoToMeeting, the proven solution for meeting and collaborating with your team online from anywhere. Visit GoToMeeting.com. Click on the Try It Free button for your free 30-day trial. Do it, get it. 24 minutes after the hour. Coffee with Carlos Alazraki.
Looking for good news, and I can't find it.
She's rustling through that paper.
Scott Brown lost in New Hampshire.
Yeah, there you go. And Family Affair is funny.
Family Circus.
Oh,
no,
Family
Affair.
Family
I'm going back to the show.
Oh, really? With Buffy and Jody?
Buffy and Jody. No.
Yes.
Family
And
Circus.
Mr. French.
Yes. Actually, were they funny?
No.
I didn't think so.
No, it was not funny.
No.
Just like the election
Nanny
results.
and the Professor. Now, that was funny.
There's Hazel.
Oh, with the shopping.
No, that's the Nanny. I'm talking
different.
Nanny and the Professor.
What the hell do I know? All right. Anyway, 1-800-STEPH-12, the phone number. We were talking about how there's too much homework in California. There's all these propositions we have to vote on.
Now, I don't know if it's this way in other states, but here in California, we elect judges, and there are like pages and pages of them. Like
judges, I don't know. Who cares?
I don't.
Why can't we elect like a commission or something that would appoint those judges for us?
And then the props. Jackie's going to be mad because of course, the insurance companies. It's all about money. They poured all this money into it, and you said you could tell the ads that went trial lawyers.
The trial lawyers put together this legislation in a seedy room with liquor and whores. They want to let you sue a hospital for cutting off the wrong leg and getting awarded over $100.
Who cares if we leave a sponge in your brain during surgery?
It's not our
Stop
fault.
whining.
Our
Trial
doctors work
lawyers
drug
want
testing.
you to make money off it.
Trial lawyers who are more evil than the insurance people. We saw it on a chart somewhere in hell.
There are charts in hell because they would burn up.
The
Carlos.
amount of the amount of times I saw that commercial just made me want to say, no, I'm voting against that.
Right.
I know there's big money behind it.
That's what
That
Travis
gets
said.
back
He
to the national election.
Right.
Again, Citizens United, foreign corporations pouring money. I don't know how much, 10 to 1 that the Democrats were outspent. Of course, money is always going to win, and that's why they knew that they needed to buy a Supreme Court that would allow them to funnel money into elections, because the general populace still is not favorable towards the GOP, which is why the Democrats will win the presidential election, because that money will not be able to buy that many people.
That's what Travis said the minute he went, oh, all the insurance companies are for it? I'm voting against that.
Absolutely.
But
I'm with the trial.
A good rule of thumb is to not to pay attention to the ads. Open up that little book that everybody gets, everybody who's registered to vote gets, read the actual proposition itself, see if you agree or disagree with it, and vote that way. Don't pay attention to the ads.
Feel like the old man on the train in Hard Day's Night. You don't have time to read books.
It's
Opening up little books.
The propositions are only about that big.
I know, but most people don't
a couple
read
of
and they
inches
know
long.
that.
I know. I know.
By the way, this explains everything we need to know about who voted yesterday. Toddler walks in on a man in a Tigger suit having full-blown bathroom sex. I bet you that guy voted. I bet you that guy took that Tigger suit off.
Tigger sex.
I'm going to vote for Mitch McConnell.
I got my own pole to play with.
3 days before Halloween, a man in a Tigger costume was busted having full-blown sex with a naked woman on the baby-changing table of a public restroom. Don't you know that is reserved for senators from the great state of Minnesota in the bathroom in Minneapolis?
That is
what is wrong with you? Is there
Let me be clear. I am not
for
gay.
God's sakes.
I never have been gay.
The witnesses were a mom and a toddler who had the door slammed in their faces by the bouncy, flouncy couple.
Oh. Well, see, they're making babies where babies are changed.
Right.
Yeah. Well,
that could have been
appropriate.
that could have been a teachable moment for the trailer.
Sure.
Was she dressed as another species? Was it interspecies breeding?
All right, so let's go to Scott in Seattle. You're on the Stephanie Miller Show. Hi, Scott.
I am a glass half full kind of guy. Washington has just passed the first ever close the loopholes on guns bill.
I saw background checks. Look at you.
Yeah.
And there was an NRA sponsored initiative as well that was hoping to confuse the issue. We voted that one down, and we voted for more gun control. At least it's a step. So we're maybe breaking down NRA money.
Yep, and 3 red states voted to raise the minimum wage, and then voted for the guy that'll never make it. Great, nice job, nicely done.
That's why they voted for it.
Yeah. 29 minutes after the hour, right back. More Coffee with Carlos on the Stephanie Miller Show. It is the Stephanie Miller Show. Welcome to it. Sorry, hearing trouble. Okay, 1-800-STEP-1-2, the phone number. Toll free from anywhere. Coffee with sexy liberal Carlos Alzraqui.
I'm feeling better. I'm feeling better. The sting is wearing off. Put some protein on it. Sucking out the venom.
There you go.
And it's good.
Okay. Oh, we got an awesome hate letter, Chris.
Okay.
Stephen writes, just a few days ago, you Liberians.
What?
Sierra Leone?
Do you mean I'm from Liberia or I'm a libertarian?
I have no idea. You're not a
libertarian.
I'm not either. Did he mean liberal? Anyway, just a few days ago, you Liberians were so political and thought you were the smartest and running a positive, productive life. Oh, I never thought I was running a positive, productive life. I don't know where you get that idea from.
No PPL here.
Now, after your Democrats lost to us Americans...
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow. Now you go back to being a comedy show? Now a warning? We were always a comedy show.
Well,
I don't think it's funny, but saying. I've always been doing the same thing. You must be a mentally challenged person. Well, for a Liberian.
Well, yeah. And that letter was chock full of grace.
And humility.
So there. Did it end with so there?
Peggy Noonan's Chardonnay Canaries told her that she hopes that the president will be as, what was the word, Chris? Gracious, as George W. Bush always used to be. You remember that. We always remember how gracious and humble George W. Bush was.
Yeah. Y'all got lucky.
I got a mandate, and I got political capital. I intend to spend it. Shock and awe.
I'm going to use my mandate. In my Air Force suit.
Boy. All right. Let's see. We have Senator Pat Roberts, some more crunchy audio goodness, Republican from Kansas. That looked like it was going to be a close race, 3-way thing, but no.
I just spoke with my opponent, Greg Orman. I told him he ran a good campaign. I told him he ran an honorable campaign. He should be proud. I wish him and his wife the very best. Now, having said that, well, we did it, Kansas.
That was gracious.
That was nice.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, now that we got that out of the way.
Having said that.
Yeah.
Let's do an end zone dance.
The best was when McCain had to go out there and then, Palin just stormed the stage and tried to take it. What that crazy bitch? What is she doing?
That was at the very end of Game Change, which was awesome.
Yeah.
By the way, did you see that the moderate rebels that John McCain has been saying we need to arm, they just joined Al-Qaeda.
Yeah.
They just took their weapons. Whoops. Grampy's famous vetting, because he was over there and he vetted them and he knew exactly which moderate rebels.
I vetted Putin too. I looked into his eyes and stared into his soul. He's a good man. That's my vetting process. You got to stare into people's souls.
Julie in Seattle writes, "Hi, Mama. Wondering what the point is of schlepping basement wards every morning at insane o'clock when the radio dial grows dimmer every day. Wondering why bother even talking to a populace dumb enough to put a no-neck lettuce-eating terrarium fowler in charge of what taxpayer money gets spent on. Wondering why you should bother putting one more word or dollar into supporting a political party that can't be bothered to stand with President Obama wearing their team jersey. Well, I'm telling you one thing. I am not going to quit because you know why? I have no place else to go.
Yeah. I ain't going to quit. I got nowhere else to go."
And there's Joni Ernst.
Puppies.
Oh, my God.
See? It's better already, isn't it?
It's got a little Crypt Keeper in it.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you, John Kassir.
Yeah, exactly. Sorry, this was the one I meant. She said at least Borowitz had something amusing to say on how dumb this country has become. Andy Borowitz, exit polls conducted across the country on Election Day indicate a nation suffering from severe memory loss. Those who conducted the polls confirmed Tuesday night. According to polls, Americans who cast their vote today had a difficult time remembering events that occurred as recently as 6 years ago, while many seem to be solid on many things that have happened in the past 10 days. Yes. Grace and humility, that's certainly what I remember about the Bush years. Thanks, Peggy Noonan. Thanks for that.
Oh, by the way, you're getting corrections on Twitter. The congressman who was searching for sex in the bathroom was not from Minnesota, like you said. He was from Idaho.
Yeah.
Oh, my bad. It was in the Minneapolis men's airport.
Yes, and Minneapolis wants nothing to do with that. So
I am sorry. It was just their koala care changing station. They just presumably had a man bed.
They just provided the bathroom. That's all they did.
Well, was the sexual receptee from Minnesota or from Idaho?
He was an undercover cop.
He was looking for sex. I don't think he found any sex there.
Yes. Oh, dear. Okay. Let's go to Steve in Oregon. You're on the Stephanie Miller Show. Hello, Steve.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Quite a few topics coming up, like Mitch McConnell flies Liberian flags on his ships, but I called to remind...
Oh, his father-in-law is allegedly a cocaine...
smuggler thing. Yeah.
Yes.
It's aficionado. Yes.
But also, in 1992, when Bill Clinton was elected, Hillary spent the next couple of years restructuring Walmart, the low-wage imported goods, and... Anyway,
I don't think Hillary restructured Walmart all fracturing.
Yeah, she really didn't restructure Walmart.
She's on the board. Okay. All right, you know what? Let's just wait a little bit for Hillary before we start Hillary trolling. All right. Senator Mary Landrieu, who will go into a runoff, sadly do not look like she's going to win that.
This race is not about who the president is, who the president was, or who the president will be, or which party controls Congress. This race is about the future of Louisiana.
Yeah.
Yeah, with all those marsh wetlands being wasted away, the future is probably another flood.
Exactly. It is Poseidon Adventure. Mm-hmm. That's what I'm saying. Okay, let's go to Dan in Atlanta. Dan.
You know, one revelation. I didn't realize that song actually came out of the Poseidon Adventure.
It did. It won an Oscar.
Yes.
And won an Oscar.
It did.
God. Well, I am enlightened today. Thank you.
There you go.
Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Thank you for that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, reflecting on all this, and I've been saying this about the Democrats for years. You know, there's a killer instinct that the Republicans have when it comes to the messaging and the election cycle.
Yeah. You're right.
That the Democrats just lack. You know, and I get into arguments with some hard left friends of mine all the time, and then they turn their nose up and they say, "What are you talking about? It's not. We don't need to hammer home the talking points incessantly and all the time."
Yeah.
And I'm like, what country are you living in?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what this election is all about.
Well, the Democrats used to be good at it. I just don't think the current leadership is good at it.
Yeah. No, I think that's a fair point. And the Democrats haven't done really well with that in a while. And I agree with you, Chris. I think we need Howard Dean back. I mean, at least we need that.
Yeah.
We need an ass kicker, not an ass kisser.
Exactly. We need an ass kicker. We need someone. And the thing is, you know, most people are out there. I mean, you have the Republicans who will stand up there and tell you that the sky is green. All right, and of course they're going to have their.
Well, it may be soon because of the Koch brothers.
yeah, that's true with the amount of carbon going in the air. But they'll have their lemmings there saying, "Yup, sky's green." But there's just enough people out there who are the true independents, and they're not and they're not busy with politics all the time, who are just out of the loop enough to sit around and say, maybe the sky really is green, and then they end up voting for these guys.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And the Democrats need to be out there, and especially with those TV ads, and saying, come on, and hammering home, like you said, the accomplishments that this president has had. And
well, let's see if this is hard hitting enough. Guess what you just did yesterday, America? Because you voted for Republicans, you will probably die. You are going to die. You're going to have to follow the Republicans' health care plan.
Oh, for God's sake, just die.
Mm-hmm. Just saying. Healthcare may seem it's faded into the background this midterm election cycle. Actually, there's a lot at stake with many aspects of Obamacare. In particular, the future of Medicaid expansion may be altered because of the way the votes went. In states, one expert said in states that have not yet expanded, there is a significant debate going on. Several very competitive governor's elections include states that are on the fence about expansion, which means that the people in those states will die.
I need my medicine.
Oh, for God's sake, just die.
No, I don't want to die. Oh.
Benefits are easier to add than take away, so the Affordable Care Act unlikely to go away anytime soon, but it's possible to reshape it and chip away at it at the state level. These elections can determine the direction of health care for the next few years, said another expert.
Yeah, anything that was slightly progressive. And part of the messaging came from Obama himself, who sort of wavered, seemed to disappoint the progressives as well. Promised to pull out of Afghanistan, promised to shut down Guantanamo Bay.
Yeah, you know what? He probably should have just signed the executive order on immigration. I mean, just because, again, but this is the problem. It's like Latinos, I guess, in larger numbers stayed home. But now what? Now you're going to have more Republicans. You're never going to get actual, lasting, comprehensive immigration reform. I mean, it's just, it's sad.
It is sad, but we still have the national election coming up in 2016. Congress turns over in another 2 years as well. So
I'm telling you right now, we'll take the Senate back, and Hillary will be president. That's I'm willing to put that prediction down right now.
You put it down on paper, you Liberian.
That poor woman that makes her arthritic poodle dance for its food is going to die in some state without Medicaid.
Come on, Trisket, show Mommy a good time. Twirl around. Come on.
That dog is going to eat that old lady after she keels over.
No, don't try to surf my body. Get out of it, you crazy Australian.
Aye, look at this, mate. I'm on top of an old piece of geezer. Think of poor Trisket. Poor Trisket. Poor Trisket alone. Eating old dead lady carcass because you voted for America.
What is this,
Republicans,
terminus?
America.
That was a Walking Dead joke.
Dead reference.
Yeah.
Stay away, Terminus.
I hope you're happy, America. Poor little Trisket, gnawing on dead old lady.
That's right.
You sent an old lady to Terminus.
Right.
How do you feel about yourself?
Oh, an old dead lady. Lady in a red state with no Medicaid expansion.
Rick.
Pardon me?
We need to fortify. Where's Carl?
What's that, Trisket? Where's Mommy? Trisket?
Mommy went to Terminus.
Mommy went to Terminus. And now my leg is on the grill.
Now Trisket is a faraway dog. 45 minutes after the hour.
I don't think it was ever established what they did to dogs in Terminus.
Spices. Condiments.
Trisket, somewhere far away, mourns for America. Right back on the Stephanie Miller Show.
Oh, is that for all the Democrats? You're going to hand that out to the crowd? You're going to go from house to house.
In honor of the Democrats, the bed last gift.
Yes.
Nicely done. Wipe it around.
Can I borrow that? Blow my nose and tears of shame.
This is what happens from doing the show at home.
Well,
You're like,
explain to the radio listeners what you're holding.
Your show's on.
She's holding 4 rolls of toilet paper.
Yes.
I'm doing household chores. I didn't realize.
She's going to go TP in her Republican neighbor's house.
We're out of toilet paper in the other bathroom.
We have to change it. So what were we saying? No Medicaid in Mississippi and
no
other
Medicaid
states like
expansion.
No Medicaid expansion.
Yes.
Bye-bye, old people.
So somewhere, Cat Lady's going to die because there's a Republican governor. Oh, Cat Lady, bye-bye.
But I need medicine. Here, kitties. Here, Twilight. Here, Boxcar. Daddy, where's Mommy's little shoe face? Come, popcorn. That's right. Frisky time, Frisky. Oh, help Mommy.
No one to help Mommy.
No Medicaid expansion. Couldn't buy her drugs. No one to
What's
take
that, Trisket?
Trisket.
Poor Trisket. Poor America.
Poor America.
America is like Trisket now.
Whose owner is gone.
America is faraway dog. Democracy is faraway dog now.
It's coughing from all the pollution that's going to be.
Right.
I can't breathe.
Brought to you by the Koch brothers. Excuse me. Yes, Jeff in Salem says, has the country fallen in love with everyone who is a total D-word? Yes. Yes, apparently.
Yes, but Fox News is on in Dairy Queen in Grand Rapids,
Minnesota.
It's easy to see why the country has been possessed.
How did Kansas vote back in Sam Brown back? I don't know. Maybe there was a Santorum surge. Did Rick Santorum show up for him?
Yeah.
That's how you sometimes end up with a Brownback. Sorry, but I can't be walking on sunshine this morning. I'm much closer to we're not going to take it. Are you taking any requests? No, only for the morning after. That's all we're playing this morning. I can't wait to hear you guys talk me down. All right, Jeff. Are you talked down? Come on.
We'll get there. gonna make it.
Yeah, right.
It's like the movie Frozen. It just seems like it goes on forever and ever, but eventually these kids
eventually it ends.
You'll turn to watching something else. We're on to Willy Wonka now. Which, by the way, the Republican Party is.
I want it now! I want my money now, Daddy! I want change right away! I want it to be perfect! Why do I have to wait? I don't want to conserve energy! And I don't believe in solar power or hydropower! It takes too long! Let's go polluting! Oil is the only way, Daddy! I want a fast car now!
Right away, Veruca.
You lose! Good day!
That's what happened to us yesterday.
Okay, yeah, exactly. You lose. Good day,
You get
sir.
nothing!
We got nothing. Now we can have nice things, America. Thanks.
You get nothing! You lose! Good day, sir!
Goodbye, Trisket.
Yeah, that's what happened to the
Bye,
Dems.
Trisket. Bye. You're just going to a farm.
Don't send Trisket to Terminus!
By the way, we were talking about all the myriad of forms of voter suppression that also, I mean, it was just part of the equation yesterday, obviously.
Gerrymandering, voter suppression.
I'm reading two in front of me, voter intimidation in Ferguson. They sent out a huge, police presence. Gee, there's something new in Ferguson, Missouri. A common myth, by the way, is that felons or people with criminal records cannot vote. In Missouri, felons who completed their time and people with warrants or criminal backgrounds can still vote. But they were saying it was just one of the ways because they were, obviously there's a big black turnout mechanism there because of all the unrest that's happened. But in Florida, Rick Scott, poll watcher, intimidated voter who had rights restored. A woman with a letter proving her voting rights had been restored. Post-conviction was intimidated by a poll watcher working for Governor Rick Scott. And again, we were saying there were reports of this all over the place, in Texas and this one in Florida. An African-American voter presented a letter to the clerk which proved her rights were restored before the 2012 election. However, the clerk said she'd have to cast a provisional ballot because her name was not in the system. The election protection volunteer said when she tried to help the voter negotiate with the clerk, the poll watcher stood over them and repeated, "She's not allowed to be in here." Florida voters allows voters to ask election protection workers to assist them if they choose. However, the Scott poll watcher repeatedly interfered with the volunteer's conversation with the clerk. At one point, he told the clerk, "You can get in a lot of trouble or get sued for having her inside." It's just...
Yeah. Now, granted, that didn't happen en masse, and that's not the reason the Democrats lost, but certainly those sort of things go on.
No, because they're Obama-scared wieners. That's why they lost largely. They ran away from a
perfectly fine record.
Yes. Yes.
So, job growth for 55 months straight.
64. Hello, Malcolm in Glendale. Hello.
Well, you and I share a representative in Adam Smooth Jazz Schiff.
Yes, I voted for the Smooth Jazz congressman yesterday.
So did I. 70,000 of us did last night.
Yeah.
But in 2012, 188,000.
Ooh.
So where did the 110,000 Democrats go last night? To the Lakers game?
Yeah.
Turnout sucked.
Yeah. Well, it's the Democrats that ran and the Democrats that didn't turn out. Period. That got us to where we are today.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, thanks.
All right, except for Smooth Jazz. We love him.
Yes, Congressman Schiff. Smooth Jazz.
Kelly in West Virginia. You're on the Stephanie Miller Show. Hello, Kelly.
Thank you so much for helping me laugh on this rainy, gray morning.
You didn't think we were going to let you down, did you?
Come on now.
Oh, no. I was so eager for you to come on. Y'all were talking earlier about our first ever female U.S. Senator, blah, 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 blah.
Blah, 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 blah.
Both of you kind of had it right. First off, she uses her last name Moore because she's the daughter of a former governor that went to federal prison.
Oh.
But then she married an up-and-coming banker when she was young, Mr. Capito.
Okay.
So whenever she's in New York City, Chris is right. Her last name is Capito. But when she is here in West Virginia and in Washington, D.C., her last name is pronounced Capito.
Oh, that's right. I think I did hear her pronounce it that way.
Remember it. The easiest way to remember it is imagine yourself shooting someone in the foot. I'm a Capito. Thanks again for the laugh.
All right.
She on her way to the capital of America.
That's right.
She's going to put a cap in America's ass now.
Or in America's toe.
She and her colleagues.
Not in Seattle, my friend. She's going to have a background check.
There you go. There's that.
Yeah. Oh, Carlos.
Oh, dear.
Don't worry, we'll win. Remember when Rick and the boys were trapped inside the railway cars?
Goodbye, Trisket.
We're going to make it out of Terminus.
Working 4 to 5. Got to regroup and stick together.
Where can we find out more about Carlos Alazraqui?
At Carlos Alazraqui, Twitter, CarlosAlazraqui.com, on Facebook as well. Hey, I'm going to be doing some episodes of maybe Jane the Virgin, I believe.
Yes!
Hooray!
Yay.
Well, don't miss that.